You and I were at a live fantasy football draft last Friday. Last Friday night, we get a text from Kyle, group chat. It's me, you, Kyle, and BK, and he sends us a screen cap of John Moxley saying he's out. You, without effing hesitation, say they should get Neville or they should get Pac. And Kyle, maybe 45 minutes later, Pac is the replacement. And this is why people watching this show need to understand we call Joe several things. But one of those names is the booker. This guy books the territories, he books the towns, he books the people. You book this match. It's a better match. It's a better pure wrestling match than Moxley versus Kenny Omega. This is a match that should have happened on the first show. Pac pulled out because he was a Dragon Gate champion. Everybody's all boo-boo face over it. I have no problem with it. He doesn't want to lose and devalue the title that he has. Fine. He lost the Dragon Gate title, and now here we are. We have we have Pac versus Kenny Omega. Match is going to be 64 stars in the Tokyo Dome, Joe. Budokan Hall, 6.5 stars minimum. It's going to be awesome. I'm going with Omega winning here unless Moxley is healthy enough to do a run-in and cause Pac to get the W. But I'm saying Kenny Omega gets the win.
Yeah, I think that Omega will win. And, of course, at some point they're going to get to Omega and Moxley, depending on when Moxley's ready to come back from the injury. So I think it would be in their best interest, especially not knowing what Pac's future is with them, whether it's going to be part-time or if he's going to be more of a steady performer, that Omega would get the win here, keep some momentum with him for the eventual matchup with Moxley whenever that does occur. So I will also go with Kenny Omega.
Main event. Chris Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page for the inaugural AEW World Heavyweight title. I kind of feel like this has been on the back burner in the last couple of weeks. Would you agree with that?
In what way?
I just feel like there hasn't been as much hype for this match as there was maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when Jericho came out and attacked him at the indie show and those kinds of things. I feel like it hasn't had that next level promotion around it. Do you think maybe it's because, well, first of all, do you agree with me? And secondly, do you think maybe it's because they feel like the title kind of sells itself?
I don't know. I guess I just don't know what other opportunities they've had, right? They did the House of Glory show, which Hangman showed up to that and cut a promo, I believe, at that show. I've tried to keep up with the road to All Outs and the Being the Elites as much as I possibly can. They did a sit-down interview with JR and Adam Page in one of those shows. Jericho cut a promo in one of those shows. So I think that they've put some, I don't know what else they can do, right now outside of those shows, since there are other shows, the live events.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So. Maybe it's just, like you said, there's not as many avenues of promotion for them. Maybe that's why I feel like it's kind of fallen by the wayside. That's a good point.
So I think that's the only thing I could think of as far as that's concerned. But as far as what I think is going to happen, I think that, I was pretty certain for a while that, and I'm still going to go with Jericho to win, because I think that when they debut on TNT in October, that at least at the outset you want to have some familiar faces there and people to draw them in. And I think that if you have a show that starts with Jericho as the world champion, I think that's a better way to go than a guy like Adam Page, who maybe a lot of casual fans don't know yet, and wouldn't necessarily maybe stay as tuned into a show if they're like, oh, who's this guy? So I think the best way to go is for them to have Jericho win this match somehow, and start as the champion until they can build up some more storylines and momentum with people on TV before they switch the title to somebody else. I'll go with Chris Jericho.
Yep, I agree with every single thing you said there, except for if the lights go out, Cult of Personality plays, and CM Punk makes his triumphant return, causing Jericho the title. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't think it's going to happen. But like you said, the smart money is on Jericho winning. Everybody knows who he is, and he would be a great figurehead as a champion going into the TNT show. So, that being said, one match left. It is the Lucha Bros, Pentagon, Zero Miedo, and Phoenix versus the Young Bucks. Nico, Young Buck, in a ladder match for the AAA World Tag Team titles. You go first, Joe.
So the tag titles, the AAA tag titles, are on the line. Is that what's hanging from above the ladder? Is that because I was actually wondering that a couple weeks ago, and I never really followed up to look and see what was going to be on the line as far as what they would be grabbing to win the match.
According to Bleacher Report, yes.
Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense then. I don't know. I really don't. I think that. To me, I think that it probably makes more sense for the Lucha Bros to win. If it's for the AAA tag titles especially, I don't know why the Bucks would need that back, right? I think that you can probably have the Lucha Brothers win this, keep their AAA tag titles, and then I'm going to assume the Young Bucks are going to get involved in the AEW tag title tournament. I don't know why they wouldn't be, since they're the top team in the company. And perhaps they can win the titles for their own company. I think that's not a bad way to go, because I think if you look at the tag division, they're probably the best or most well-known team that they have there for that. So I'll say the Lucha Brothers win this match, get their revenge from the Double or Nothing show where they lost, and maybe the Young Bucks will kind of move towards the AEW tag titles once those get established in a couple months.
Yep, once again, I agree with you completely on everything you said. For AAA, they need to have the Lucha Bros as tag team champions. It only makes sense, and having the Young Bucks in that tournament will bring a certain air of prestige, if you will, and having them be the I don't want to say right itself, but having them be the first AEW World Tag Team Champions would make sense. However, something tells me they're not going to go that route and maybe be in the finals of that tournament and lose and really put somebody over, because that seems like the way they kind of do business. That being said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like you said, 10 matches, Joe. 10 matches on this card. Will you be awake for the entire show?
I plan on being awake for the entire show. I'm going to try to get in as much television watching as I possibly can on Saturday. I'm going to try to wake up early, get to the gym early, watch some college football, watch NXT UK in the afternoon, and then watch All Out at night. Will not be able to watch not be watching the New Japan show because I don't know what time it is, because I can't remember what time it is in Japan ever.
It's in the UK.
It's in the UK, so I don't know what time it is in the UK ever. And I think you can only watch it live on Fight TV, and I'm not plopping down however much money it is for that when I can watch it for free in a couple weeks on New Japan World. Not free, but 999 yen on New Japan World. So
$8.94, I think it is.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. That's the plan for Saturday. So yes, I'm gonna look to be up until midnight to stay awake for the main event of All Out.
Well, the wife's making cookies, so it'll be plenty of sugar. I'll have a pick line of caffeine, and we'll bro out with the fabulous free puffs, man. It's gonna be
Hunter Suzuki.
Listen, Buster Takagi, Hunter Suzuki, and Chance Archer. I mean, It's just, if I could somehow get Chance to spit water in your face as soon as you walk in the door, it'll really bring it full circle.
That's not out of the realm of possibility, because he's dripped drool and saliva on me before, so we're not far off.
He also dripped saliva into your coffee, directly into the lid.
That's correct.
God bless those dogs, Joe. Speaking of dogs, I got nothing here. You know what? Let's get to the match of the week. What match have you watched so far this week? And just so you remember, our rules were, it's a match you've watched this week, but it does not have to happen this week. So what match have you watched this week that is your hashtag match of the week?
I think the match that just thinking about it over the last week in terms of what I've watched and what I thought was the best match, ROH had two shows over the weekend. One was a taping from Atlanta, and one was a taping from, I don't know where the hell it was, somewhere else. Tennessee, maybe?
Nashville, yeah.
Nashville, sure. There was a match on that show. It was Marty and Brody King versus Haskins and Bandito, I want to say. I think that's probably the one that stands out over the weekend as far as the best match that I've seen in the last. I know it qualifies as, however we watched this week, but
that's fair. Listen, if you only watch wrestling from this week, then that's what fits this week. That was going to be mine, And I'll tell you this. I think Mark Haskins is the best thing in Ring of Honor right now. And not for nothing, he has the best sharpshooter I've seen in quite some time. I love everything Mark Haskins does. That being said, honorable mention goes to our buddy Retro AG versus Kurt Stallion from Evolve 133. They had one hell of a match, and they tore the house down. And another honorable mention goes to Chase Owens and Shane Taylor from I think it was the second night of the Ring of Honor show. Shane Taylor was just delivering match after match after match, man. He is killing it. He had a really good showing in the Champions versus All-Stars on night one. And I really think that Ring of Honor had a good showing this weekend in back-to-back shows. So, listen, speaking of good showings, if you want to have a good showing, everybody knows what you have to do. You take the first $5 you make this week of your paycheck, and you put it towards the shipping and handling for your first order of Blue Chew. Everything blue. Blue headphones, blue shaker cup, Blue Chew, baby. The patent ingredients from that stuff, the Viagra, the Cialis, and all that, in a chewable form. And you get your first order for free. All you're paying is $5 shipping and handling. No going to the doctor. No weird stuff at the pharmacy when the 20-year-old girl behind the counter is like, oh, this guy's buying Viagra for his penis because he can't get it up. Good news is Blue Chew circumvents all of that. And if you want to be all in or out this weekend, again, you go to bluechew.com, use the promo code WPP. It could not be easier to get your first order on us. You just pay that $5 shipping and handling. Now, we told everybody what our match of the week was, Joe. What is your one match to watch? What to watch for this week? Your hashtag, what to watch for. I figure if I say hashtag, maybe I can get them trending.
Well, we just went through all the all-out matches. I mean, there's several things on there that are going to be pretty interesting. I mean, specifically, if I picked something from that show, I would say the ladder match, right? You want to make sure you check that out. I would look to people to watch. And listen, I will admit I don't follow NXT UK weekly. I tried getting to the weekly show. I've had challenges sticking with it. But they are having Walter versus Tyler Bate this weekend. And not even really knowing what the storyline is behind that, but just knowing that it's for the NXT UK title. I think that's probably worth going out of your way to watch, whether it's live or on the network. So beyond the stuff that's going on at All Out, I would say that match in particular is something that I think people should check out.
That's a great call. I'm going to go a little bit different than you. I'm going to go the Royal Quest, New Japan, Tomohiro Ishii versus Kenta. 60 minutes for the never open weight title. Joe, that match is just going to be dudes dumping dudes on their heads, beating the hell out of each other. I cannot wait. I'm in for everything Ishii does, and I broke the news myself. I didn't break the news. I saw it online. Shibata is back on the New Japan Pro Wrestling website under active wrestlers. I don't know if this is an accident. I'm getting my hopes up. If Shibata returns to the ring, I will cry like a newborn child. I get pumped up when I saw him come back at the G1 2 years ago. When he came back this year and he dropkicked Kenta, I don't care what anybody says, it was the best thing to happen in professional wrestling this year. It was amazing. The crowd was insane. His story is great. If he comes back and he wrestles Kenta at Wrestle Kingdom, I'm going to find a way to go to Japan. I'm going to call Conrad Thompson. The guy hooks everybody up. He'll find me a way to get to Japan, and I'm going to go with Conrad. Speaking of Conrad Thompson hooking people up, before we get to our quick edition of the 5 count and shooting with the Stallion, did you see Tony Schiavone's back in AEW?
Yes.
Dude, Tony Schiavone is back, baby. The voice of my childhood. The voice of the NWA, of WCW. I can't wait. Him and JR, Alex Marvez, sorry about your damn luck. I'm sure they're going to have a spot for you on the weekly show. The professional commentators, who, I mean, no fault of his, he wasn't a professional commentator, let them handle the big show. So I'm really looking forward to hearing Tony Schiavone back. Are you as excited as I am?
Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of Schiavone. Ironically, at the time that I started watching pro wrestling was 1989, and that was the year that he was in WWE. So I started watching wrestling when he was one of the primary commentators, or play-by-play guys, rather, for WWE at that time. So I've always enjoyed him on that show or anywhere else that he's been. We met him at WrestleCon